One day I had that was about it.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so wonderful to see you here and all of you who I'm sure are out there in internet land. I'm Rabbi Benjamin Zober, if we haven't met before, and it is my pleasure to invite you to our services here at Temple Sinai in Reno, Nevada. This evening, as we do just about every night, we're going to be praying out of Mishkan Tefillah, a Reform Siddur. I realize I say every week I say a Reform Siddur, hoping that someone will go a Reform Siddur, the Reform Siddur. There are other Siddurim that are Reform, and so I guess those are fair game, and maybe we'll just bust something out sometime and shake everything up and mess with everyone's record. No. Okay, we won't do that. All right, good. The only Reform Siddur there could possibly be is the one we're using, Mishkan Tefillah. But if you are online and would like a copy of said Siddur, we have a virtual Siddur that you can download at sinaireno.org/live. It will have all of the readings and everything you know. And if I'm really good, I won't change any of the stuff at the last minute and throw you all off. See, when you have the book, you don't know that I'm just winging it. But the people who are watching, they're waiting, and they're okay. I see the next one, and then I change it, and they go, I don't go like that. They're like, go like this, and it's not there. So I apologize for that. Sometimes I have high hopes to bring in a new song or a different melody, and then I chicken out. So, but I'm full of courage this evening because I'm surrounded by so many friends, and we're going to lift our voices in song and welcome Shabbat and begin our day of rest, because I'm sure that we could all use it. It's been a long week in one way or another. Feels like a whole 7 days even that we've been at this. So we will begin with a reading that we can find on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. I am honored to invite Tova McGilvray up for our Shabbat candle lighting. If you would like to follow along with the blessings, you can find them on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehavdikneh Shabbat.
And I wonder if my my kids are anywhere, if they're listening, I would love for them to come and join us here in the sanctuary. And I would love for all of you to come and to join me as we sing some songs and we welcome Shabbat. We will do some of our favorites found on page 10. We will start at the top of the page with Hine Ma Tov. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achot gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine tov, shevet achot gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achot gam yachad. Hine ma tov, yadadai, yadadadadadadai. Hine ma tov, yadadai, yadai, 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 yadai. And we'll move right down to the next song on the page. Ma yafeh hayom, how lovely today Shabbat is. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. And now we will turn to page 12 and we will sing Lechuna Ranana. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana Ladonai. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu, Nikad Mafanav Toda. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu, Izmirot Naria Lo. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana Ladonai. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana Ladonai. And we turn now to page 20 for Lechadodi, as we welcome the Sabbath bride. We will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we reach the 9th and final verse, I invite you, if you are able, to rise in body or in spirit and turn to the entrance of whatever space you are in, whether it's our sanctuary or at home or parts unknown, as we welcome the Sabbath bride into our space with us. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, ushmo echad, l'shemu tiferet v'letehila, Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha Ki mekor habracha mirosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'machshavat chila lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari hitorari hiva orech kumiori uri uri shir daberi Kevod Adonai alaik nigla lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'v'tzola toch emunei am sigula boi kala lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Bevakasha לשבת. We continue together with Chatzi Kaddish, which can be found on page 26. Yitkara v'yitkarash shemei Rabba v'yalma divrach irute v'yamnich malchute b'chayechon uvyom echon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, Vimeru, Amen. Yehesh me Rabba Mevarach, Le'alam Ol Mehal Maya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Vayishtabach, Vayitpar, Vitromam, Vayitnaseh, Vayithadar, Vayitale, Vayithalal, Shemed Kudesha Barichu, Leila min Kol Birchata Vashirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiran Me'alma, Vimeru, Amen. We turn to page 28. We rise in body or in spirit for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Adonai Hamevorach
Mevorach leolam vaed. Mevorach leolam vaed.
We continue together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Mariv Haravim. We continue with Ahavat Olam on the very next page. Ahavat Olam, Bet Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta, Torah umitzvot, chukim umishpatim, otanu limadata, otanu limadata. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokvenu, kumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, v'yorech yameinu, Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. V'yahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema can be found on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. B'vakasha l'shevet. You may be seated. We continue together with the V'ahavta, which is found on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha Uvechol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavacha, hayom al livavecha, v'shinantam livanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, Ushachbacha uvkumecha, ukshartam laot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvihisharecha, leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, V'yitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem mi'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. We read it together at the top of page 41. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Michamocha can be found on the previous page, page 40. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, malchutecha ra'uvanecha, Okay, ayam livne Moshe zelianu ve'amru Adonai imloch leolam va'ed v'nemar kifar Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. We turn to page 43 and we read together at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapares sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Vishamru can be found on the very next page. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot Et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam b'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael od hi leolam Od hi leolam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. All right, thank you, dancers, always. For those of you who are online, everyone was dancing. It was amazing. It was like Simchat Torah. So come on down sometime and dance with us. Yeah, totally. All right. At this time, we turn to our Amidah, which begins on page 46. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha
open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Lifnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah Rab Lehoshia, Mashiv Haruach, Umarid Hagashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomek Noflim Berofeh Oholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Milchamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue silently to page 62. Please be seated when you are finished or when you feel ready. Oseh Shalom can be found on page 62. Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Hu Yaseh Shalom
Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Ose shalom, shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael amen. At this time, we turn to Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our Torah service. We begin at the top of page 245. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. It is my honor to invite Ellen up to open our Ark and Barton Barrow to carry our Torah this evening. I invite you to turn to page 246. Bavakasha lakum. We all rise. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Udevar Adonai Merushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti Uneromama Shemo Yatav. Lecha Adonai Hagedula V'Hagevura V'Hatiferet V'Hanetzach V'Hahod. Ki kol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Ki kol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha. Yamit naseh lechol rosh. Al shlosha divarim. Al shlosha divarim. Al shlosha divarim. Haolam omed. Al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Thank you. Tada. You may be seated. Chanting Torah for us this evening will be John Luis Gomez, and I am happy to welcome up. And for our Aliyah, Dr. Jeff Gingold. Ya'amod Yaakov ben Yechel v'Razel la'Aliyah HaTorah. That shows where you're starting. 18.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam
ברוך
Ba'ed.
אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Amen. Vayitein Abraham et kol asher lo litzak velivnei hapilgashim asher lavraham natan Abraham matanot ve'ashilechem me'al Yitzhak beno bevodenu chai kedma el eretz kedem. ואלה ימי שנחיה אברהם אשר חי 100 שנה ו70 שנה וחמש שנים. ויקבע וימות אברהם בשיבה טובה זקן וזקן ואסף אל עמיו.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
All right, well, you guys know the drill. You don't go too far because we've got some blessings. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you as you have come up to Torah in honor of God and Torah. May you merit from the Holy One of blessing, protection, rescue from any trouble or distress, and from any illness, minor or serious. May God send blessing and success in your every endeavor, together with all Israel. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
תודה רבה.
Thank you.
With our Sefer Torah out, we take this time to think of those who could use a little bit of healing, whether it is of body or mind or spirit. On this Shabbat, we are thinking of David Apt, Ruth Irene Ackroyd, Kevin Ashton, Kathy Bartlett, Tracy Bartlett, Batya Ta'ali, Pauline Bina, Gary Cecil, Laura Cohen, Oritzur Cohen, Megan Carney Cranmer, Martha Gould, Stephen Gould, Marlene Harris, Chester Hendricks, Pam Hendricks, Letitia Kruger, John Lutzker, Jason Matthews, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Batsara, Vivian Morgan, Tim Ober, Claire Petersky, Carol Pevney, the Ramirez Morgan family, Judy Ramos, Sarah Bat Chava, Harav Sarah Bat Yisrael V'Shoshana, Terry Sayez, Chaya Schwartz, Shayna Bracha Bat Esther Malka, Chris Stanton, Teresa Sussman, David Wagner, Vanessa Wagner, Bobby Wells, Asher Zelech, and we offer collective prayers for the Middle East, for peace, for healing, and remembrance of all the lives lost during times of war. We think of those in the military who are serving their country. Think of everyone affected by long COVID or the coronavirus. And we, of course, continue to send prayers of healing and for peace to the Jewish and other communities in Ukraine. If there are other names that you wish to share, if you are online, I encourage you to put those names in the comments section. And if you are present, I invite you to share those names when my eyes meet yours.
Craig and Brooke Conrad.
Melissa Peters.
Michael Martin.
We send our prayers to all of those folks and the ones that we are thinking of as well. And in our hearts, our prayer for healing Debbie Friedman's Misha Berach can be found on page 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Mechor HaBrecha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habrecha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. At this time, it is my honor to invite Bonnie up to help dress our Torah. We turn to page 252, and we all rise. This, all your stuff there. V'aldot haTorah she'ersan Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. You're a pro at this.
Good at this.
Yeah. We turn to page 257 and we read responsively. When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it. The whole Torah exists only to establish peace. Its highest teaching is love and kindness. What is hateful to you, do not do to any person. That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it. Those who study Torah are the true guardians of civilization, honoring one another, doing acts of kindness, and making peace. These are our highest duties, but the study of Torah is equal to them all because it leads to them all. Let us learn in order to teach. Let us learn in order to do. Page 256. Eitz Chaim hi lemachzikim ba v'tomcheha meushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol notivotecha Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva, Charesh, Charesh Yamenu, Charesh Yamenu, Kekem. Thank you. Bavakasha Leshevet. There is this famous story. And in part of it, this group, they go on this journey. And having come to what they thought was their destination, they are instead faced with doubt and confusion. The experienced ones in the group are certain at what they are seeing, even though they disagree. And the youngest member of the group is not certain at all. What he is sure of is that his intuition tells him to be afraid. And with that, Luke Skywalker utters that prophetic line, "I have a very bad feeling about this." They both say it at different points. It's a running through the thing through the whole series. Anyway, in the Parshat this week, we read about a few first encounters and gut reactions and intuition. Each one a bit different, but each one offers us something about following those feelings or knowing what to do when we have an inkling. The most exciting of these is the first time that Rebekah comes into Isaac's camp. Abraham had sent his servant Eliezer to find a wife for his son Isaac. Isaac found Rebekah. She agreed to come back and marry Isaac, sight unseen. And when she approaches the camp, well, I'll read what the Torah says. Vatisa Rivka et enecha v'tereh et Yitzchak v'tipol me'al hagamal. Raising her eyes, Rebekah saw Isaac. She alighted from the camel. I don't know what alighted means. She fell from the camel. She fell off of her camel when she saw her groom-to-be. It was for her love at first sight. And sometimes our eyes do not deceive us. Sometimes that first impression is one that we can count on. Some of us have rather reliable kishkas. When we know, we know. The problem is that even those of us with pretty dependable guts, we sometimes realize that our guts are not the only source of information or influence for us. Rabbi Heidi Hoover teaches that we are subject to all sorts of influences, and when we make decisions, it's not just one part of us that is doing it. But when we know, we know, and sometimes all we have is our intuition. At those times, we hope that all we have learned and all of the influences in our lives can guide us and guide our guts in the right way. It happened that way for Rebekah. She met Eliezer, Abraham's servant, and she saw how he treated her. And she decided that whoever he was there representing must be someone really great. And so she took a leap and she went, and then she was rewarded and saw this man that she would love so much. Rebekah's brother Laban, he saw things a little differently. Rebekah runs home to tell everyone about her meeting with Eliezer at the well, and Laban is not terribly concerned that his young sister has met some stranger or even that she's engaged, but he cannot help but notice the nose ring and the bracelets that are on her arms. He sees her bling and dollar signs flash in his eyes. Well, okay, maybe shekel signs flash in his eyes, but he sees something very different. Unlike Rebekah and Isaac, this is not the beginning of a great love story. We'll get to later when he meets his match, Jacob, the two of them hoodwinking each other for years and years and years. They're just great couple. Oh, to be young and in love and utterly amoral. But Laban is not swept up in the moment. He is not trusting his gut. He is making his own luck. He may have feelings or a notion about who is a mark or who he can get to use for his own benefit, but he's not one to leave that to chance. He manipulates and controls everything that he can as soon as he can. Oh, he makes a big show of his hospitality. According to the commentators, Eliezer had no expectation that there would be such a warm welcome, but Laban wanted to make sure that Eliezer and his master down the line see just how welcoming he was. But it was all an act. According to one tradition, not only does he see the jewelry on Rebekah's arm, but he takes it and brings it into his own house for himself. Maybe some of his worldview came from bad experiences. Maybe he had people take advantage of him. And from that, he started to wonder if everyone had bad intentions, and soon his own ideas were always of the worst in people. Or HaChaim, an 18th century commentator, explained that Laban refers to Eliezer as a man blessed by God before he invites him in, not a sign of reverence, but just doing slightly more than wanting someone to sleep outside on the ground. It had nothing to do with wanting to welcome someone who would soon be part of his life. The commentator wrote, "Even when the wicked perform an act of graciousness, such an act reflects a degree of their basic reluctance to do good." That is what Laban's gut told him. The third experience that we read about this week is when Isaac spots Rebekah, or at least when he looks up and sees her returning with Eliezer. Isaac is out walking, he looks up, and all that the Torah says is that he saw camels approaching. That's all. We don't get the love at first sight moment that Rebekah had. We don't get him swooning or falling on the ground or any of those sorts of things. We do not hear the gears in his head grinding as he contemplates like Laban. We're not entirely sure what he thinks, because instead he waits. Eliezer comes and tells Isaac all of the things that he did, and then, only then, does Isaac bring Rebekah into his mother's tent. And it is then that we read, Isaac loved her, and thus found comfort after his mother's death. Isaac is many things, but chief among them, he is cautious. Both when his father was taking him to be sacrificed, and later in life, when his son Jacob is deceiving him, he will ask questions that he probably knows the answer to. He does this not because he is ignorant, as some people would suggest, but because he is trying to give people a chance to reconsider, to think for themselves what they are doing, and maybe change their course of action. He does this throughout his life, and he is cautious here too. Rebekah's beauty is notable, so he was probably pretty excited that Eliezer brought her home. But it was not until he spoke to Eliezer and got some appreciation of her character that he would welcome her in. And not just that, he brought her into his mother's tent, a special place that had been empty since his mother's death, and one that he would not have given away to just anyone. Isaac, as always, was cautious. Of course, there is always an exception that proves the rule. When Isaac and Rebekah are out later in life, they realize they are in danger, and as we've seen before, they have Rebekah pretend that she is Isaac's sister. But Isaac seems to throw caution away because he is so taken with her that he cannot help but embrace her. And the two of them get caught making out in an alley, and it brings some trouble. Rebekah learned optimism and generosity because she never saw it in her brother. Laban learned that he could manipulate people and he could exploit them. And Isaac learned to be cautious. I think that Isaac had the best sense and grasp of what he could do with his intuition. Or at least he could probably rely on it more than anyone else. The word in Hebrew that is closest to intuition is binah, which is somewhere between knowledge and things that we learn by experience. We actually find this idea in our morning blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sachli vina lahavchin bein yom uvein laila. Blessed are you, God, who has given the rooster binah, intuition, that is the ability to distinguish between day and night. There are not a lot of roosters in our prayers. We do not have a chicken-heavy liturgy. But there's one in this prayer to remind us and teach us something. A rooster knows that morning is coming even when it is still dark outside. Roosters can see things not for how they look, but can understand how they truly are. We might be trusting and be rewarded for it. We might be guarded and enrich ourselves. We might be taken advantage of, or we might suffer the consequences of hurting the people around us. Our guts can deceive us, and our experiences can warp us. But we also might try caution, like Isaac. If we take under consideration all that we know, everything that we have gone through and everything we've learned from, and then, only then, we trust our intuition, well, then we very well might succeed. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We turn at this time to the Aleinu, which can be found at the bottom of page 282. I am delighted and pleased to invite James Sturmond up to open our ark, and I invite you all, if you are able, to please rise.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet grula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu k'chol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. May all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Page 287. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Thank you. You may be seated. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love we are comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. At this time, we are remembering Michael Ben Chana, Eric Rosenberg, Jeffrey Four, Kevin Knox, Joanne Reimer, James Jim Alexander, Rebecca Weidman Hoover, Kurt Engelhardt, Debbie Herman, Jerry Zober, Laura Lazarus, Ron Darst, Robert Stearns, Sally Ann Castle Ryan, Irene Fenton, Patricia Duffier, Joseph Ohayan, Yolanda Jimenez, Nancy Dawes. And on the Shabbat, we commemorate yahrzeits for Barbara Gonzalez, Leona E. Green, Reuben Cladney, Peter M. Burns, Kenneth Liebman, Fanny Abramson, Frida Alderman, Betty Williams, David D. Chiara, Evelyn Holzer, Paul Schumer, Bess Barber, Etta Goldstein, Maxwell Kahn, Helen Luskin, and Isidore Pansky. If there are other names that you wish to remember, I again encourage you online to share those names in the comments, or if you are present when my eyes meet yours.
Ruth Shukar and C.J. Hurst.
Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Kaddish Home can be found on page 294. If it is your custom, I invite you to please rise. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divrach, Lirute, Viamlich, Malchute, Bachayachon, Viomechon, Uvle, Lekol, Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Vizman, Gariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mavarach, Le'olam, Ulmei Almaya, Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitromam, Vitnase, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmei, Dekudisha, Barichu, Leila, Min Kol, Birchata, Vashirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Tamiran, Bi'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama, Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chaim, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Osei Shalom Bimramav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. Tova, are you our announcer for the evening? Okay.
Thank you, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, everyone, for braving the wind and the cold to be here tonight. We super appreciate having you. Thank you, Tommy, for running our live stream tonight. And thank you, Rabbi Ben, for leading services. Thank you so much, Nyasha Koach, John Luis. Beautiful chanting. So glad to be here for that. We will be having our oneg after services this evening. This is a challenge oneg, so sponsored by our anonymous Oneg donor who continues their challenge to the congregation for us to sponsor the remaining Onegs throughout the year, the other half of the regular Onegs. And if that was something that you wanted to do, but felt timid about it, Tracy and Crystal, our kitchen mavens, are available for help and for hire with shopping and setting up, tearing down. We'll have our virtual Oneg. So those attending online, we'll see you afterwards in the Zoom room. Torah study is go for tomorrow morning. That is 10 a.m. Exodus 31:6 at sinaireno.org/Torah study. On Sunday, the 24th, Sinai School will be happening, starting with our weekday family service. And 1 p.m. will be the fourth and final in our 4-part series, Jews of the Old West. We're going to be showing and talking about an episode of Little House on the Prairie this Sunday. Thursday and Friday, so Thanksgiving and Family Day, our temple office will be closed. But we will be having services on Friday after Thanksgiving, the 29th, normal Kabbalat Shabbat at 7:30 p.m. Our Oneg that night will be hosted by the Rabbi Zober in celebration of their wedding anniversary. Torah study is on for November 30th. There will not be any Sinai School on December 1st, that Sunday following Thanksgiving. And then it's starting, we're starting the first of a whole series of B'nai Mitzvot that's going to be happening. On Friday, December 6th, the Oneg that evening will be hosted by the Haynes family in honor of Addie Payne's Bat Mitzvah, which will take place the following morning, Saturday, December 7th. Our B'nai Mitzvah programs are open to everyone in the congregation. So please don't feel that if you didn't receive a specific invitation that it's not for you. If you would like to see this milestone for our young people, all are welcome to attend. On Sunday, December 8th, there's going to be a pretty cool event. This is going to be held at Temple Emmanuel, but it's jointly hosted by Temple Emmanuel, Temple Sinai, and Jewish Nevada. So Dr. Susan Liebman has written a book, and The Dressmaker's Mirror, and she'll be being interviewed about her book, and it's a memoir about her family's experience with genetic hereditary disease and how that affected the family. So it's going to be really interesting. There's going to be science, there's going to be emotional stories, so we're all looking forward to supporting Sue in that. And then another bar mitzvah on Saturday the 14th of Izzy Rosenfeld. So I think that's enough announcements for now, you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tova, for greeting and announcing and all the many, many, many things you do. Our closing number tonight is Yedid Nefesh, which can be found on page 332. I think I have it in this book. I don't know. Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman Meshok Avdecha El Retzonecha Yarut Avdecha Kemo Aya Yishtachave El Muhadarecha Yaherav lo Yedidutecha Menov Etzuv Vechotam Yadarai dai 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 Yadarai dai 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 Yadarai dai 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 Yadarai dai 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 Yadarai dai 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 Yadarai dai 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 Adur nahe Ziv haolam Nafshi cholat Avtecha Ana elna Rifana la Biharola נועם זבחה, אז תתחזק ותתרפא, והייתה לה שמחת עולם. Yada-dai, dai, 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 yada-dai, dai, 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 yada-dai, dai, 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 da-da-dai, dai, dai, yada-dai, dai, 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 yada-dai, dai, 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 yada-dai, dai, 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 da-da-dai, dai, dai. Vatikemu narachamecha v'chusana al ben huvecha ki ze kama nisof nisavti lirot betiferet uzecha Anaheli chemda libi husana bi'alna tatitalam. Yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 da da dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 da da dai dai dai. Higaleno ufros havivi alai et sukat shelomecha ta'ir eretz mikvodecha nahagila v'nismecha bach Maherahu kiva moed v'chonenu ki me'olam. Yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai. Yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai. Shabbat shalom, everyone.